involved short duration periods of the actual mission, but did involve all three teams. There are several members on a couple of the teams who have not had an opportunity to go to Moscow to meet a lot of these people personally. But even with the limited amount of simulations and the fact that we haven't had a lot of face-to-face contact, I think the interaction that we've had with their control center people has been outstanding. I don't think we could have asked for anything better. The specialist team that they sent over here was highly qualified. They have been able to provide us with a tremendous amount of information when we made requests to them, and all I can say is that I think for an initial joint operation, it could not have gone better. And with that as our introduction, I'll open it up for questions.
Okay, Jim. Bruce?
John, how many hours would you estimate that you spent and your team members spent in training for the flight, not the particular aspects of the flight that y'all have all gone through before, but in the joint aspects of those that took special coordination with Moscow or whatever?
That question, Bruce, has got to be broken down into a couple of different categories. We began some of our negotiations, of course, even before the joint agreement was signed. I think back in 1970 there was some initial very high-level contacts made. Of course, there were some discussions amongst various people associated with the space agency at that particular point in time. After 1972, when the formal agreement was signed, the activity picked up considerably. There were 5 working groups formed, and these people carried out detailed negotiations from the standpoint of making the necessary modifications to the Soyuz, making the necessary modifications to the command module, getting the docking module built, interfacing with the satellite, the pressure environment changes that were necessary to prevent the nitrogen problem. Those went on and just terminated really right before the mission. And I think there was probably on the average of 2 to 3, in some cases, according to the working group, as many as 4 joint meetings per year, with a lot of work in between. As far as the actual around-the-clock, so to speak, support of simulations with all of the flight control teams involved from both the Moscow Control Center and our Control Center, and crew involvement from both sides, I think it was in January that we had the first simulation. And of course we had another one, there's one in December. It didn't involve all the teams. We had one in March that involved all of them. We had another one in the latter part of June, first part of July, that involved all of the elements.
Jacques?
I don't know. Bruce, did that answer your question to the level you wanted?
Yes, because I have to run, I'm sorry. I wasn't waken up by that morning music. What kind was it?
We had tenderness on this morning, Jacques.
You had what?
Tenderness.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, Bruce, go ahead and finish your question.
Yeah, well, there's, I guess, how much of that, though, was detailed in, say, as far as flight control activities in the training, and you've got your sims, and what work that you put in, say, outside of sims, directly in the joint aspect, the aspects that, if I can get my meaning across, that dealt uniquely with the Soviets, things that you would not have probably been doing otherwise. I mean, say we have a flight of a similar nature without the Soviets, some unilateral flight, but then you add the Soviets to that. What kinds of things, time-wise, did it take in addition to that?
I'm still not going to be able to probably pin down the exact number of hours, but let me say that the majority of our simulations centered around launch aborts, which of course are autonomous activities. A very high portion of them centered around rendezvous, which we consider to be a joint activity from the standpoint is meeting one of the prime objectives of the joint mission. And of course, then the simulations I mentioned to you earlier, where we essentially picked up at some point in the joint activity timeline and usually went up through the point that we're going to reach today, and that is determination of the UVA. A lot of those sims were simulated or were conducted by primarily one team, because one team was doing most of the day-by-day activities. Now, both Neil Hutchison's team and my team were primarily involved in increasing or polishing our proficiency back up on the command module systems, and to a certain degree on those Soyuz systems with which we had a direct interface. I think other than the joint sims, Neil and I probably had something in the order of 5 or 6 8-hour runs each. And that was of course, with our full team. And those type of simulations are applicable regardless of whether or not you're talking joint activities or solo activities. In other words, they're the type where our desire is to feed into the system as many problems as we possibly can in as short a time interval as we possibly can, and to figure out the procedures that we would use to solve those problems.
You talked about how communications and cooperation with the coordination of the two control centers, how smoothly it went, everything else.
Yes.
How would you rate the proficiency of both centers in working together? You used one term of running smoothly, but in terms of proficiency, how would you rate it?
I'd like to ask you to clarify just exactly what you mean by proficiency. If you're trying to refer to the point where did they know their systems as well as we knew ours?
No, I'm saying did you get good at working together? I mean, the coordination, the work together. Were you good at it? Were you bad at it? Were you mediocre? Are you experts now at working together? That's the kind of thing.
I think when we first started out, I think there was some reluctance to fully discuss each and every problem. And each simulation that we've had, that has improved. And during the flight, I haven't noticed any significant change. I think we started out at a very high level of coordination and exchange of information, and that level has maintained itself throughout the flight. And if I understand the way, or the question that you're asking, I would say we are on a very high mark of proficiency.
What's the contingency plan if Soyuz and Apollo can't undock?
Cannot undock. Well, it's according how many failures you want to go into. As you're well aware, the uniqueness of the new docking system is the fact that regardless of whichever system was active when we performed the initial undocking or the initial docking, either system can be used to undock. So certainly our procedures would be to go ahead and allow the other vehicle to try to perform the undocking. There's no reason to believe that one of the two of them is not going to work.
No further questions? Thank you.
Apollo Control. 9452 ground elapsed time. We're in acquisition over ATS-6 satellite with some 10 minutes remaining. First portion of this pass was recorded during the change of shift briefing for delayed playback. We'll start with AOS at ATS-6 on the tape and play catch-up until we go live. Roll tape.
W today, Capage. Appropriate to Bob, check T.
Auto show. We're on ATS here.
Please move on. Houston, Apollo.
Apollo, Houston, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say all three of us just want to thank you so much for doing a great job on Capcom yesterday. That was a long, rugged day, and everything you did, keeping things coordinated, was outstanding. Just want you to know how much we appreciate it.
Okay, it was my pleasure. It was certainly an interesting day. Apollo, Houston, we'd like accept so we can give you a new rep set. Thank you, and I have the undocking pad, which is on page 7-1 of volume 2 of the flight plan. When somebody has a chance, give you a call, I'll pass that to you.
Okay, going to it now, Bo. We should be monitoring maneuver to the Lockwood incident. Base monitor.
Roger, we understand that. We're sorry it's late, but it needs to be tweaked. Roger, page 7-1, the final. 95, 43, 1200. 17329er. 27203. 35089er. We've already locked up on that, so those high gain angles are not applicable. And of course, you only have to put these fine numbers in on the trim just before docking.
Okay, on a read back on the final undocking pad, 09543-12003, 17329-27003, 35089er.
The seconds were 2000. That's a good readback.
Thank you.
And Tom, while you have that checklist out, there is one more change, I'm sorry, and that's at 9526, where it says primary evaporator checklist, also add in deactivate secondary evap S1-18. Did you get all that?
Yeah, deactivate the second one.
Deactivate the secondary evaporator, roger. And we're finished with the uplink. We can go block. Apollo, Houston, someone here heard a discrepancy in the pitch number. Could you confirm that that is 27203?
27003.
Negative. It should be 27203.
Okay.
Thank you. Apollo, Houston, we'd like you to leave the shades in that you don't need out for the UVA so that we get better TV. You're
kind of garbled, Deke. Did I understand that you said you wanted those windows open for visibility?
Whatever we got.
Roger. And Apollo, as you probably guessed, we are getting TV of the inside of the command module now, and there seems to be something over the TV. Thank you.
Yes, look, we've got some fantastic viewing and picture taking of Africa right now.
Roger. Command Module Houston, that out the window camera is really giving us a good view this afternoon.
Thanks. That's as good as ours, so you have the ball.
We have one request. That camera, that item that was in front of the camera that Vance had taken down really was helping before it was blocking some of the light that was coming out of the center hatch window. That's perfect right now.
Yeah, does that help?
That's just right.
Okay, I blocked the number one window here with a map. That helping us out.
Roger.
Well, I might have to take it down periodically to get a view. Hello, Houston, Apollo.
Apollo Houston, go ahead.
Roger, for a change, we thought we'd give you some wake-up music. Houston, we'll have this and other good selections for you later on. Thanks, Apollo. This is Rousseau.
Apollo Houston, go ahead.
altitude, weather, etc. We just now got a couple of visual observations, things that we haven't been able to get as well before. For example, saw the Levantine Rift, and in Egypt, I think might have seen the pyramids. That's a diecast that we have, and now I've got to see a picture or a layout of how the pyramids are laid out when we get back. But I saw two specks that might have been pyramids.
Say again what the specs might have been?
We think they're the pyramids of Egypt, and that happens to be a visual observation eye test. Yes, yes.
Understand? Experiments asked us to relay that they appreciate the good work.
Probably good time to comment. We haven't done much good work in that area so far. Combination of cloud cover and time compression.
More days are coming, and we're looking at that picture out the window, and it looks pretty fantastic now with Soyuz just over the horizon.
This is Apollo Control. That completes playback of the accumulated air ground, coinciding almost with the actual loss of signal at ATS-6 satellite as Apollo and Soyuz cross the Siberian coast and the Japanese island chain. 16 minutes until next acquisition at tracking ship Vanguard. And we're about 35 minutes away from undocking. Undocking will take place at 9542, first undocking. Just about 3 minutes before ATS-6 acquisition again. The go for undocking will be given at the upcoming Vanguard pass. Coordination between the two spacecraft and between the two control centers and their respective spacecraft for the go, no-go for undocking. The second docking, redocking, will take place prior to loss of signal on this upcoming ATS-6 pass. Undocking will take place over Chile at a latitude of about 51 degrees 10 minutes south and a longitude of 87 degrees 33 minutes west. We'll return in 15 minutes for the pass across tracking ship Vanguard, final morning pass over that ship. This is Apollo Control at 9508. This is Apollo Control at 9523 ground elapsed time. Acquisition at tracking ship Vanguard in about 45 seconds. During the pass over Vanguard, both spacecraft will be given go, no-go for undocking at 9542. Undocking is at that time. The Soyuz crew will start their countdown clock at undocking minus 20 minutes. And there's considerable spacecraft-to-spacecraft coordination involved, where the Apollo crew informs Soyuz on such events as opening the active hooks, opening the structural latches, and the final countdown to the actual undocking.
For 7 minutes.
And Bo, we have synced our clocks with the Soyuz. And you ready to copy the B-52, Bo?
Ready for the P-52 and understand you synced.
Roger. Star 32, star 40, down 05, all balls, plus 81, minus 101, minus 49. Torqued. 951416. Over.
Understand 3240, all balls, plus 81, minus 101, minus 49, 951416. Apollo Houston, just a reminder to change your noun 22s and tweak up the attitude.
Roger.
Apollo Houston, one more small item. When you deactivate the primary and secondary evaporators, we'd also like you to make sure that the waste stowage vent valve is closed.
Okay.
This is Apollo Control. Loss of signal through tracking ship Vanguard. When we next hear from Apollo and Soyuz, they should be involved in the station keeping in preparation for the solar eclipse experiment. Undocking will take place at ground elapsed time of 95:42, just prior to acquisition at ATS-6 satellite, which is some 14 minutes from now. We'll return at that time at 95:32. 10 minutes away from undocking. This is Apollo Control. This is Apollo Control, 95:45 ground elapsed time. 50 seconds away from acquisition at ATS-6 satellite, the southernmost tip of South America. At acquisition here, we should have confirmation of undocking and hopefully before too long a real-time television picture of Soyuz from Apollo as it backs away. Preparation for the solar corona or solar eclipse experiment. We'll stand by for Capcom Carol Bobco's first call.
There goes minutes plus export just for 16 seconds, 4 minutes. Am I supposed to control roll or not? No. Say, don't? You eventually have to. Eventually you have to. You know, you got to go up and dock with it. Yeah. It's easier to do. I wasn't sure about this point. Let's see, I guess our shed is off of it now. Yeah, okay. Where it came off. Okay, need standby plus X for 16 seconds. Okay, mark it. Okay, 8 seconds gone. 10 seconds. 13, 14, 15, 16. That's it. Stop. Soyuz, Apollo, сейчас, yes, to zombie sign you, Apollo.
Soyuz, this is Apollo. Apollo is station keeping.
No, we're not either, Tom. Nah. Really shot me up, bro.
50 meters.
Apollo Houston through Ats, and we're hearing your calls.
Roger. We've docked at station keeping. Everything was on time, Bo.
Roger, thank you. And if someone can get that out the window camera and check that it's an average, it may help our picture.
It's an average, Bo.
Thank you.
Roger.
Apollo Houston, may we ask you put that out the window camera to peak?
Roger. You got peak, Bo.
Thank you. Apollo Houston on panel 230, we'd like the up telemetry switched up telemetry.
Roger. Oh, it's in up telemetry.
Roger, understand. The panel 230 up telemetry switch was in up telemetry.
That's Roger. How's your picture on the tube, Bo?
Pretty good. We see Soyuz there, and understand the picture's even going to get better as we get into the daylight.
Oh, yeah.
About 50 meters now.
No, 30 meters. PD shot.
50.
Apollo Houston on panel 181, we need the TV station select CM and CM1 to up telemetry.
Say again, Bo.
On panel 181, those two TV station select switches in the upper left-hand corner. To the center up telemetry position.
outside picture. What is it now? Yes, I'm assigned you.
There is station keeping.
Apollo, keep him. Station, keep him. 15 meters.
Roger.
And Apollo, Houston, we need that out-the-window camera back to average because we've gone away from the ocean.
I am ready. Roger, got average. He was ready for orientation. Russia auditory.
Okay, ready. All right.
Apollo, Houston, the TV picture is so good we can see the capture latches.
Roger, bro, roger.
Apollo, Houston, could you give us an estimate of your range?
Okay, the peak has the same problem I have. The coax is completely washed out. It's full up. It's so bright out here.
Understand.
We can look at ballpark. It's about 50 meters, plus or minus 1 or 2.
Roger.
All right. Roger, understand you.
Apollo Houston, we would like you to go peek on the out the window camera.
Roger. We've got peak, Bo.
Thank you. The reason I call that is depends on whether or not we can see the Earth.
Yeah, I understand.
Say again.
Apollo Houston, we'd also like you to go to gamma 1/2 on the out the window camera.
Stand by, we're real busy.
Okay.
Say again, please.
PDF mode accomplished.
Roger, Roger, understand you.
I'll give you our jockeying attitude as soon as we have it refined here.
Roger.
Yes, active ready. Okay, Bo, we're pretty close to docking attitude at 195.728.1 and 21 degrees, point 3.
Roger.
Soyuz, Apollo,
Soyuz, this is Apollo.
Control Kostyakovsky.
Orientation established, ready for docking. Roger, understand, you are ready.
Oh, Roger, Alexi.
Хорошо, understand.
Apollo, Houston, on the out-the-window camera, we would like you to go average again, please.
Soyuz, I'm now approaching Soyuz. We're ready. I'm approaching Soyuz.
Keep coming, Tom.
Apollo, Houston, on the out-the-window camera, we'd like you to go to linear again, please. That did it. That's a good picture.
Okay, Houston, Dick's having the same problem with toe-ass washout that I had.
Roger, understand.
Absolutely zero toe-ass.
Distance 30 meters. Very slow, very slow.
Apollo, Houston, we're getting a good picture, but the camera has moved a little. Can we ask you to move it to the right and up a little bit? Thank you.
Contact. Okay.